Thomas lived a simple life. He woke early each day, he tended to his garden. The days passed slowly, peacefully. One day Thomas decided to visit Blue Lake. The lake was very old, villagers told stories about it, magic they said. Thomas did not believe in magic. He did believe in the quiet beauty of the lake. The water was still, the air was warm. Thomas sat by the lake. He closed his eyes. He listened to the sounds of nature. A splash. Thomas opened his eyes. The tranquility of the lake was disrupted by the sudden sound. He had been lying there, soaking in the warmth of the sun, letting his thoughts drift away with the gentle breeze. But now, something had pulled him back to reality. Something had broken the surface of the lake. He looked around. He saw nothing unusual. The water was calm again, the ripples slowly fading away. He wondered what could have caused such a disturbance in this otherwise serene setting. Maybe a fish, he thought. It wasn't uncommon for fish to jump out of the water, especially in a lake as rich with life as this one. He tried to convince himself that it was just a fish, but a nagging feeling in the back of his mind told him otherwise. A big fish, from the size of that splash. He tried to picture the fish in his mind, its scales glistening in the sunlight as it broke the surface. But the splash had been too large, too sudden. It didn't sit right with him. He closed his eyes again. Maybe he was overthinking it. The sun was warm on his skin and he wanted to go back to that peaceful state of mind. But his senses were now on high alert, listening for any other unusual sounds. The sun was warm on his skin. Another splash. This time it was louder, more pronounced. He couldn't ignore it. His eyes snapped open, and he sat up quickly, his heart beginning to race. This time bigger, closer. Thomas sat up. He scanned the water. There. He saw the ripples spreading out from a point not too far from where he was sitting. His eyes tried to pierce through the water, searching for any sign of movement. Something was moving under the surface. Something large. It wasn't just a fish. The shape was too big, too deliberate in its movements. He felt a chill run down his spine as he realized that whatever it was coming closer. Fear, sharp and cold, touched Thomas's heart. He had never felt this kind of fear before. It was primal, instinctual. His body tensed up, ready to react to whatever might come next. He scrambled back from the edge of the water. His mind raced with possibilities, each one more terrifying than the last. He needed to get away, to put some distance between himself and whatever was lurking beneath the surface. He watched, his breath caught in his throat. The water was still again, but he knew it was out there, waiting, watching. He couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something much larger, something that would change everything. Whatever was in the water was moving slowly. It left a trail of bubbles in its wake. It was coming towards the shore. Then, Thomas saw it. A shape began to emerge from the depths. Wood. It was wood. Relief washed over him. It wasn't a monster. It was just an old rowboat. But what was an old rowboat doing at the bottom of Blue Lake? And why was it rising now? Curious, Thomas moved closer to the water's edge. The rowboat bumped gently against the shore. The rhythmic sound of the waves lapping against its sides was almost hypnotic, a soothing melody that contrasted sharply with the boat's dilapidated appearance. It was old and waterlogged, covered in moss and slime. The wood, once sturdy and reliable, was now soft and spongy, a testament to the relentless passage of time and the unyielding grip of nature. It looked like it had been under the water for a very long time. Thomas hesitated. He had heard stories about boats like this, vessels that had seen too much, that carried secrets and whispers from the deep. Then he reached out and touched the side of the boat. The texture was rough, the moss and slime giving it an almost otherworldly feel. It was as if the boat was a living entity, breathing and pulsating under his fingertips. It felt strangely warm, as if it were alive. The warmth was unexpected, almost comforting, yet it sent a shiver down his spine. What kind of secrets did this boat hold? What stories were etched into its decaying wood? A sound came from within the boat, a whisper. Thomas jumped back. The whisper was faint, almost indistinguishable from the sound of the wind, but it was there, a soft murmur that seemed to call out to him. He stared at the boat. Was it his imagination? The whisper had been so clear, so real. He couldn't shake the feeling that the boat was trying to communicate with him, to share its long-forgotten tales. He took a deep breath. The air was thick with the scent of the sea, a mixture of salt and decay. It filled his lungs, grounding him, giving him the courage to face whatever lay ahead. Slowly, he leaned closer to the boat again. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing in his ears. He was drawn to the boat, compelled to uncover the source of the whisper. The whisper came again, louder this time. It was more insistent, more urgent. It was as if the boat was pleading with him, begging him to listen, to understand. It seemed to be coming from under one of the seats. Thomas hesitated for a moment, then reached out, his hand trembling. What would he find beneath the seat? What secrets lay hidden in the depths of this ancient vessel? Carefully, Thomas lifted the wooden seat. He peered into the dark space beneath. At first he saw nothing, then something glimmered in the dim light. He reached in and took hold of the object. He pulled it out. It was a small silver hand mirror. The silver was tarnished, but the mirror itself was clear. Thomas looked into the mirror, his breath caught in his throat. The face staring back at him was not his own. The face in the mirror was old, a woman. Her features were etched with the lines of time, each wrinkle telling a story of a life lived with both joy and sorrow. Her hair, once a vibrant shade, was now a soft silver, framing her face like a halo. She seemed almost ethereal, a ghost from the past. Her eyes, a deep, fathomless blue, stared out at him. They were the kind of eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the universe, eyes that had seen too much and yet still held a glimmer of hope. They were mesmerizing, drawing him in, making him feel as if he were drowning in their depths. They held a look of deep sadness, and a plea. It was as if she were silently begging for something, a release perhaps, from the burdens she carried. Her gaze was haunting, lingering in his mind long after he had looked away. He felt a pang of sorrow, a connection to this mysterious woman he had never met. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the face was gone. The mirror reflected only his own bewildered expression. He blinked, trying to make sense of what he had just seen. Was it a figment of his imagination, a trick of the light, or something more? Thomas stared at his own reflection. Had he imagined it? His mind raced with questions, each one more perplexing than the last. He touched the surface of the mirror, half expecting to feel a chill, but it was just glass, smooth and cold. The sun was beginning to set. The golden light bathed the landscape in a warm glow, casting long shadows that danced with the gentle breeze. It was a moment of serene beauty, a stark contrast to the turmoil in his mind. The sky was ablaze with color, hues of orange, pink and purple blended together, creating a masterpiece that only nature could paint. It was a sight that never failed to take his breath away, a reminder of the world's endless wonders. The surface of the lake once again was perfectly still. It was as if the water itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The reflection of the sky on the lake's surface was so clear it was like looking into another world, as if nothing had happened. The tranquility of the scene was almost surreal, a stark contrast to the strange encounter he had just experienced. It was as if the world was trying to tell him something, to give him a moment of peace amidst the chaos. Thomas looked at the mirror in his hand. It felt heavier now, as if it carried the weight of the woman's sorrow. He turned it over, examining it from every angle, but it was just an ordinary mirror. Or was it? Then back at the lake. The stillness of the water seemed to mirror the stillness in his heart. He took a deep breath, trying to calm the storm of emotions swirling inside him. He knew he couldn't ignore what he had seen. He knew what he had to do. The encounter had left him with a sense of purpose, a mission to uncover the truth behind the mysterious woman in the mirror. He felt a newfound determination, a resolve to find answers no matter where the journey might lead him. Thomas tossed the silver mirror into the lake. He watched as it sank, catching the last rays of the sun before disappearing into the depths. The ripples spread out, then faded. He never saw the rowboat again, or the face in the mirror, but he never forgot what he had seen that day. The lake, he knew, held secrets, secrets that he would never fully understand. Thomas continued to visit the lake. He never spoke of what he saw, but he knew. The lake remembered, and so did he.